Let's keep our conversation going and welcome in Democratic strategist and former Obama advance man Robin Biro. Also with us today, Deputy Managing Editor at Red State, Kira Davis. Kira, Robin, great to have you both with us. Big day for Twitter users and Twitter competitors like billionaire Amazon founder Jeff Bezos. He's questioning, Kira, China's leverage on Twitter and Elon Musk now owning the company. I think Jeff Bezos might be a little concerned that Elon Musk's rocket is bigger than his.
Yeah, there might be some size battles going on there, but I think it's very interesting that Jeff Bezos is suddenly concerned about China. I think it's interesting when any liberal is suddenly concerned about China. They've been in bed with China since the beginning. I mean, what myriad of compromises has Amazon had to make to do business in China? Like, don't just step up now when Elon Musk finally gets into the game and be like, oh, now we're concerned about China. You have never cared about China. You have never cared about the squashing of free on social media. All of this is just, it's a temper tantrum is what it is. It's a temper tantrum because guys like Bezos and people who have run Twitter have been the sole voices on the left in the culture war for so long that they can't even imagine a world where other people actually get to have their ideas heard without being censored. They don't know how to defend their ideas. This is all just a temper tantrum.
Jeff Bezos never said anything about Nike having, Muslim slaves making shoes in China that are sold on Amazon. He's probably the biggest seller of plastic crap from China to the United States, except for Walmart. But Robin, there's some concern on the left about what's going to happen with Twitter now. Are you concerned?
I'm not. I think it's a lot of jumping up and down and screaming right now. And look, I see right through this with Jeff Bezos. I've got a kid in middle school. This is the same kind of argument that I hear them talking about, the middle schoolers. So this is just nonsense. And you're right. It's the same. Look how many goods are sold on Amazon that are produced in China. And you're exactly correct. I'm glad you said second only to Walmart. But I'm not that concerned about this. Frankly, I think it's time for some changes to Twitter. I've had concerns. I've said long that big tech has too much control and probably should be regulated. And I think that Elon Musk probably will bring some fresh new ideas. And I was surprised to see Jack Dorsey in support
let's get to
this.
that. Let's talk about Jack Dorsey here because he weighed in on this and he tweeted this. In principle, I don't believe anyone should own or run Twitter. It wants to be a public good at protocol level, not a company. Solving for the problem of it being a company, however, Elon is the singular solution I trust. I trust his mission to extend the light of consciousness. I mean, Jack Dorsey, Kira, opened Pandora's box with the way he let Twitter operate. We just posted that graphic that shows how many of the Twitter employees, 98.7%, donated Democratic causes. He cultivated this problem, and now he's like, oh, well, we got Elon. He's going to save us. I mean, he should be owning up to his level of responsibility, shouldn't he?
Some of this may be what Jack couldn't have said while he was CEO of Twitter. There are some things that he just can't say out loud. So now that the reins are off, he's retired, so to speak, I think we're seeing more of how Jack was maybe struggling within the company with the board members and the direction. However, you're absolutely right. And this is what we conservatives were saying from the start. When the liberals started this censorship nonsense, we said, look, this is going to go too far. What you're doing when you're demonizing people on your right, you're demonizing people for the way they vote in one election. You're demonizing people over a guy that none of us knows. What you're going to do is you are going to create an atmosphere that is going to be censored and difficult for all of us, not just on the right, but for the left too. Eventually, this will catch up to you, and you will start eating yourself. We said this. We predicted this, and now it's here. The left is eating its own because
it is a funny thing about logic, Kira. When you really apply the rules of logic to these types of discussions, you get in those kind of traps you just talked about. Unfortunately, we got to cut it off. We're going to have Robin and Kira coming back, though. We got to get to some breaking news real quick. Robin, we're sorry to cut you off. We'll let you go first next time. Okay. Kira, thank you. We'll see you guys in a bit.
When asked who do you want to see run for president on the Democratic ticket in 2024, Well, just 19% said Biden. The rest of the choices spread out among 18 other candidates. In other words, it's 81% of Americans don't want to see Biden run again, although he's told Obama he's running again. And all of this comes at a time when his approval ratings continue to hit new lows. An NORC Associated Press poll right there saying 29% believe the country is heading in the right direction. Slim numbers there. John?
All right, let's welcome in our panel to talk about these poll numbers. Democratic strategist and former Obama advance man Robin Byros here. Also back with us, managing editor at Red State, Kira Davis. And Robin, we promised we'd let you have the first word. I think it's only appropriate given these poll numbers. It wasn't a setup. It wasn't a trap, I promise. But ouch. I mean, there's a whole list of unnamed Democratic sources talking about the bloodbath that's coming. Are you calling to talk about the very bad news in the polls? What is it like for a Democrat like yourself right now when you see these types of poll numbers?
It's tricky, and I'm a Democrat hailing from the state of Georgia. We have a very contentious gubernatorial election coming up, to say the least. So, this is difficult. I myself lost my election for mayor here because, in part, of Joe Biden's low approval ratings. Democrats just aren't that motivated right now to vote for other Democrats because we're frankly just not really doing that great of a job. We made a lot of promises. We oversold. We haven't been able to deliver. Frankly, a lot of that does fall with our Republican colleagues in Congress, but we still are holding the bag. These are our issues. If we can't convince our peers across the aisle to join us in some bipartisan support for some things, then what good are we?
Yeah, they're not going to join you for windmills and student debt relief, that's for sure. I mean, again, 81% of the country doesn't want Joe Biden to run again. I guess it trickles all the way down to the Tucker, Georgia mayor's race, Kira. But
I blame that. Yeah.
Very, very real consequences for Democrats like Robin here.
Oh, well, listen, yeah, of course there are. I mean, I definitely feel for him. He's fighting an uphill battle. But these polling numbers are only shocking in the respect that we've never seen anything like it in our lifetime. But they're not shocking to anybody who's living in reality. So we can talk about what the Republicans are responsible for, but the Republicans don't really own anything in politics just yet. That's the Democrats. Everything that has happened in the last 2 years is on the Democrats. And I mean, I went to the gas station yesterday at Costco, and I had to wait. That's the quote cheap gas. And I'm waiting in line for 30 minutes because people are desperate to shave off as much as they can in their day-to-day budget by being thrifty and going to discount places. And it's tax season and everyone is really feeling the heat at the most base level. So of course these poll numbers are low because everything is terrible right now, and it is all Democrats' fault.
Well, it's not an endorsement for Costco, but I'm with you. I'm going to Costco to get my gas. A lot of people are. It's like sometimes 60 cents cheaper than the other gas station right across the street. So that is worth it. Another piece of news our audience can use. Join Costco for the gas, if nothing else. All right, one more topic, ladies and gentlemen. Washington State is banning the word marijuana. Don't talk about it. Of course, the drug itself is legal, but according to Cairo 7, legislators recently passed a law that changes ever revised code of Washington law with the word marijuana. It's now going to be called cannabis. That's the appropriate term. Supporters say the word marijuana has a long history of racism. So the word marijuana, is it racist, Robin?
This is why Democrats lose elections. We're focusing on things like this and not the issues that matter. This is my party, and we are responsible for making this an issue. I don't get it. I'd never even heard of this being a racist term. But the state of Washington has so many other issues right now. They have a serious problem with controlled substances, and they should be focusing on that instead of feel-good words for marijuana / cannabis, whatever you want to call it.
This is definitely, how is this going to help Washington State, Kara?
Listen, if you think about black people, when you hear the word marijuana, you're the racist.
That's so true. That's so well put. That is so well put. Yeah, there's nothing we can add to that. We'll leave it there. Great to see you. Great point, Kara. Great to have you on the panel with us as well. And Robert, thanks for being honest as always.
Thank you.